But today, we bring to you a masterclass with noted investor, Mr. Vijay Kedia. Mr. Vijay Kedia, by the way, needs no introduction, but is known for his bottom-up approach and is noted for 100 baggers like Aegis Logistics, Sarah Sanitary Ware, as well as Athu Lotto. The most recent 10-bagger, in fact, is Sudarshan Chemicals in the last 4 years. Thanks so much for joining in, Mr. Kedia. Pleasure talking to you. Well, let's start talking about the market right away then. How are you reading current market sentiment? Sit on cash or go out there? There are plenty of opportunities.
No, I cannot go anywhere because I am 100% invested in this market.
Okay.
And ever since I am in this market, say last for 30 years, more than 30 years, there was not a single day when I was not 100% invested.
All right.
So I am fully invested. And if you ask me that where do I see this market, so let me tell you, my approach to this market is little different. So either you are investing into a market, or you are investing into a stock, or you are investing into a company. So actually, I am not investing in this market, nor I am investing in the stocks. Actually, I am investing in the companies.
Right.
So if I am investing in the companies, then it doesn't matter to me whether we are in a bull market or we are in a bear market.
Right.
Actually, the truth is that we are into a stock market.
Absolutely.
Okay. And unpredictability and unprecedented fluctuation is the rule of the game.
Absolutely.
So you have to bear all these things. So I'm invested in companies and I'm long-term investor. So I'm just sitting tight. That's it.
Absolutely, sir. You know, you've been a noted investor. You've got many multi-baggers. Obviously, there would be hurdles on the way as well. But what is the most important point you look at? You know, for us youngsters, we're growing up. We look at, you know, the PE, EV upon EBITDA. Some talk about growth, ROC. For you, which is the most important among all these ratios that we talk about?
Now, to me, actually, concept is very important. So forget about the bottom line, forget about the top line. What is the growth in the company? The concept and the growth, which is very important.
Right.
So me, the most important factor in choosing an investment is actually the growth of that company. Whether the product will sustain in the due course and how fast a company can grow. That is more important.
So I was looking at some of your holdings, and in the recent past, Everest Industries. So what would you term it as? Bottom up or top down?
Actually, I would say it's blending of both.
Okay.
There are hardly few companies listed in this space. Only 4 companies, I think 4 or 5 companies are listed. So, and I think stock is also what I feel. I may be wrong also. Stock is also cheap.
Okay.
And it's a blending of both, as you asked.
Okay, all right. So Everest Industries is one stock where Mr. Kedia has increased his stake to roughly around 5% approximately. The other important points I wanted to ask you is, over the recent past, you know, if I just take a look at the last few years, the sector leader is something that doesn't grab your attention really. You look at maybe player number 3, player number 4 in a market. Case in point being a Sarah Sanitary Ware or maybe even an Athu Lotto. They were not leaders in the sector, but they were big multi-baggers for you. Run us through the investment thesis there.
No, it was very simple actually. When I bought all these stocks which you had mentioned just now, Aegis and whatever, Athu Lotto and Sarah Sanitary Ware, the biggest advantage actually was in my favor. That market was actually pretty bad that time because we had just come out from that coma kind of situation of Ketan Parekh scam and all.
Right.
So stocks were also very cheap at a throwaway price. So all these stocks were available at maybe a P of 5 or 6 and giving a dividend yield of around 5, 6 or 7%. And plus economy was also turning around.
Yeah.
And same case was there with all these companies. They were also turning around. So I got that advantage. So that is why all this become a multi-bagger.
Okay, all right. You know, the other space, Mr. Kedia, that everyone's talking about is the chemical space. In the last couple of years, and that's been getting a lot of attention. I understand that you did a lot of ground research. You visited China, you saw how the industry was shaping up there, and then you backed Sudarshan Chemicals, which, by the way, I think it's a 10-bagger from the time you bought it. Tell us, how does that go about? How important is ground research?
No, of course it is very important because if your stake is high, then your research should also be certainly high.
Yeah.
So that time actually I was in China for some different reason, for some different venture. So then I happened to meet somebody from the chemical industry. And there I got to understand that China is losing the grip in pigments and this chemical field and all. So that time I remember I visited Beijing also, and I could see the pollution and all. So that was a little bit groundwork I did. But only thing why I zeroed into Sudarshan Chemical, because I was following this company for last many years, maybe for last 15, 20 years.
All right.
So my initial stock was bought in 1992 or 3, a very small quantity, so which I held on to till 2014. And when I found that this structural change is happening in this pigment industry, then I bought Sudarshan Chemicals.
And what about chemicals industry? Most team left?
Of course, I think specialty chemical, not general commodity kind of chemical and all. And pigments and all, I think India is actually going way ahead than China.
Okay, so still positive on the chemicals space is what you're saying. Specialty chemical space. Note that specialty chemical space is what Mr. Kedia is bullish on. The other space has been the auto space. We already spoke about Atul Auto, but even the bearings industry, it's known that you have, a couple of big stakes in ABC bearings as well, which would be going in for a corporate action with Timken. How bullish are you out there? The auto space is turning around, the industrial industry as well is looking quite well. Your take on the bearings industry on the whole?
I think there was excess capacity in bearing industry. There are hardly few listed players in India, maybe 5 or 6 players. And ABC, when I bought that time, it was cheap. So now it is no more a cheap stock, just because it is getting merged with Timken Industries, so they will get a valuation of Timken. So looking at the overall scenario now, since like people are talking that India, our average capacity utilization is crossing 75% or something. So we believe that maybe going forward, private capex will start kicking off. So all these things will create a good demand for bearing industry. And Timken, being the world leader in bearing industry, will certainly bring all those technology into India. So certainly this company will also be benefited. So it's not at all a recommendation. The stock is very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's just a discussion.
Okay, but positive outlook for the bearings industry.
Timken, yeah. So now, since it will become a Timken company, so Timken valuation will be given.
So specialty chemical space is looking pretty interesting. We have even the bearing space that's looking pretty interesting as well. Well, over the last few days, Mr. Kedia, I've noticed that there's a lot of debate on gambling in India. I want to know whether or not Mr. Kedia are you a gambler? And what's your take on this space on the whole?
I'm a great gambler, actually. Not a small gambler. I go to casino and I play. My wife also likes to gamble. So, but we have set a limit that either when I will lose $100 or $200, that is my upper limit. So that is why I call myself great gambler. On gambling, I remember one thing, now government is contemplating of legalizing gambling in India. According to me, government has already legalized gambling, and what people are doing, trading into future and option, that is also a gambling only. Okay. So what is gambling? Gambling is like something you are taking a chance. Right. Okay, without any qualification, without any experience, you are doing something to make money without any logic. So that is taking a chance, that is gambling.
But for a lot of those investors who have come in there, they suddenly got hit. What kind of mistakes are they making? What kind of advice would you like to give some of these investors that are coming in there? Maybe you have a couple of themes as well that you have in mind that you could explain to them.
I will tell you one theme, one acronym is ESCAPE. Okay. How can you escape from the failure in the market? And especially, this is only for the newcomers and all. We can't teach or we can't interact with, veteran in the market. Of course, the newcomers, they should remember the word escape. And in escape, E stands for easy. Yeah. So whoever comes into the market, they feel this is market, making money in this market is very easy. They don't need any education, they don't need any learnings or no experience is required. Just you pass your BCom or your school and your university and you can make money. So it's not an easy business. Okay, it's a simple business, but it's not an easy business. So that is why I have chosen this word, escape.
What's the acronym? I mean, if you could explain it to us.
Yeah, escape. In escape, E stands for easy. It's not an easy business. And C stands for crorepati. So that is the majority of the people want to become crorepati in a shortest possible time. In overnight, they want to become crorepati, and that is why they are doing all other mistakes. So, and this is why they fail in the market. And another word of escape is like later is A. So your approach to the market is wrong. Your approach to the market is like gambling, and market rewards you as per your perception. If you think it's a gambling, then it will prove a gamble for you. And the last letter of escape is P, like PE. So P stands for penny stock. There are two reasons why people fail in this market. The major reasons is this. One reason is that they indulge into trading. Your approach is of gambling.
Yeah.
And another reason is your love for penny stocks. You see, the most of the wealth in this market has been destroyed by these two segments, future and options and penny stocks. So if you can escape from this then certainly I don't know whether you will make money or not. Actually, you will not fail in the market. You will not leave the market. You will not say later on that this market is a slaughterhouse.
So be aware, if you don't have the right knowledge out there, then you're telling our audience out there, be careful. If you want to play in the futures and option space, you should have the qualifications out there. And even with regard to penny stocks, well, they look cheap, but be very, very careful out there, because that's where you can get hit the majority of the time. What about the investing business? Just in 2017, it was a bliss. Of late, suddenly I meet so many investors, they are saying, oh God, why did we put our money? A lot of these first-time investors, and my fear, sir, is that they may not come back into the market for the next few years. Your take on that?
Yeah, of course, because the approach in the market is wrong, no. They have never, you ask anybody who has come into this market that have they really done any courses? What experience do they have? Have they done? If you want to become a doctor, what experience do they have? Have they done? If you want to become a doctor, you are doing MBBS for 5 years or LLB for 5 years.
Yeah.
So what kind of homework are you doing? What kind of academical qualification you have to do to come into the market?
Right.
Nothing. So that is why I've said many times that, you see, investing is a blessed business.
Yeah.
Okay. According to me, it's a sacred business. I remember I have read one poem in my childhood that I am monarch of all I survey. My right there is none to dispute. So and it means that actually I own everything, but I don't possess anything. Okay. So this is what actually investing actually gives us, that kind of freedom it gives us, that I am free and uncommitted.
Right.
And plus, what advantage you have along with the promoters. Suppose tomorrow a promoter sees that his company is not going to perform well, maybe for next, say, 1 year or 2 years. He cannot sell his shares. But you are not carrying any baggage. You can sell the his shares tomorrow and invest in some other company.
True.
So it's a blessed business.
Yeah.
Till you abuse it.
You were talking about if you don't like the company and if you believe that in fact maybe the outlook's not good, you have no obligation, no baggage, you can sell the shares. But what about the SME space? There was so much of momentum, so much of talk about it. Suddenly people are scared, but I was looking at a couple of shares and in fact, several of companies, you have increased your shareholding there. So broadly, I wanted your view on the SME space. If you could explain to all our investors as well out there, it was supposed to be a good opportunity. Of late, there's a lot of fear.
I'll tell you, I personally do not discriminate whether it is a small cap or mid cap or SME or main board. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
If I like the company, I buy in any platform. If I do not like, I can sell any stocks tomorrow.
True.
Last year, I was very much bullish on Karnataka Bank. At one point of time, I was holding 2%, as you know that. But somehow I was not comfortable because to me, peace is very important. Peace is more important than making money in the market.
True.
So, but I was not happy with the performance of the company. So I sold my Karnataka Bank. Similarly, I cut short my position into Aries Agro also. And I switched over to like Everest Industries. I increased my position in because I thought maybe that will perform better than these companies. So ultimately my money is in the market only.
People think they're playing a T20. They're coming in there and they want to make money right away. But that's not the case.
No, of course not. Then you will burn your hand. It's not possible.
Absolutely.
So one has to be careful because of the liquidity.
Absolutely. One thing, Mr. Kedia, that I've seen in the past, this market will either make you a lot of money or it will teach you a lesson that you will never ever forget if you get it wrong. So you said, one of those stocks that maybe didn't work out was Karnataka Bank. You were quite bullish and in fact you got out of it. But for the market on the whole, what is the biggest risk? People talk about, we're getting into an election year. Crude has gone up as well. According to you, what is the biggest risk for our market now?
I don't know what is the risk. Risk is, if you can assess any risk, if you know that this is the risk, then that is not a risk. Okay. If you are talking about that maybe Modi government is a risk or crude is a risk, then I don't think that is a risk in the market because all these risks adjust itself with time.
Yeah.
If suddenly something happens, then things are different.
Yeah.
So I do not, of course, stock market as a whole is a risky business.
But what about political risk? How big a risk is that?
See, I will give you one simple example. I don't know whether Modi government will come or not, or whoever will come. Actually, this company was ruled by Congress for pretty Ever since we got independence, I think majority of the time it was ruled by Congress. Okay. So India so far reached whatever, as people are also saying that whatever policy this government has laid down or implemented has been laid down by the previous government. Okay. So Congress is also a tested government. Okay. BJP is actually doing something good. Okay. So I don't care. We have seen so many prime ministers. We have seen Mr. Devi Gowda also as a prime minister, and so many other people from different.
And at that point of time, I think as well, even the Deva Gowda government, the markets were fairly stable.
That's what I'm saying. So the market actually adjusts all these things. So I am not, and I do not have any answers to this also. So I am not worried. To me, it is not like a short-term thing. To me, it's like Jina ya marna ya, iske siva jana ka.
Arey wah, sir. Arey wah. We know about Vijay Kedia, the investor. What about Vijay Kedia, the entrepreneur? I remember once you had said about a good manager in a bad business. That is better than
a bad manager in a good business.
Absolutely. So tell us about Mr. Vijay Kedia, the entrepreneur.
No, I am a failed entrepreneur. I am not a good entrepreneur at all. My mind doesn't work there.
Till now?
Till now, so far.
And as of now, you're managing only your own money. At some point of time, would you consider going out there and managing people's money? Could that be a possibility?
No, I don't know, because I don't want to be accountable to anybody rather than just income tax. I don't want to be accountable to anybody until unless somebody gives me $5 billion,
$5 billion, then you would consider. But for the time being, you're happy with what you're doing.
I'm happy with what I'm doing.
So what about Vijay Kedia's mantra in life?
Mantra is very simple.
Market has to be there.
Nigel, I'll tell you what, whatever you have learned in your life, okay, you should actually, whatever you have learned, you should analyze.
Yeah.
You should implement.
Yeah.
And you should repeat.
Yeah.
Okay, like in cricket, once you get your position right, you are in your comfort zone, then don't try to switch, don't try to be adventurous every now and then.
Right.
Stick to your comfort zone and keep on repeating the process. But don't leave learning.
Absolutely.
Keep on learning at the same time, because if the situation changes, if the weather changes, if the pitch changes, then you have to change yourself. So that adaptability should be there.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, if you are on the right track, keep on repeating the same thing.
So we have markets, we have meditation, and what? Music.
Music. Yeah.
So those are the 3 M's that you your mantras in life, if I have to say.
Yeah, and 4th is my wife named Manju.
Arey, wow, fantastic. You're hitting it out of the park, sir, now. Absolutely. So I'm just catching you a bit off guard. But if you could sing a couple of lines of that particular song, and you could tell us, the meaning of that as well. And there's a message out there for market participants as well.
The song goes like that. है मार्केट उसी का, मुनाफा उसी का, लेके भूल जाए शेयर अच्छी कंपनी का, मैनेजमेंट हो ऑनेस्ट, एम्बिशन न कम हो, चैलेंजेस से खेलने का बाजुओं में दम हो, वरना वो बजा देगा बैंड कंपनी का, लेके भूल जाए शेयर अच्छी कंपनी का.
That was lovely, and what we got from there is you're talking about buying good companies, look at the promoters, buy it and forget it. You're definitely giving a message out there to our audience. Run us through, sir, some kind of details. What was your thought process when you were singing this song, and what is the message you're giving out there?
Actually, I was traveling from Bombay to Bangalore.
Okay.
So suddenly it came to my mind in the flight, while sitting in the flight.
Okay.
Why not I make it a song for stock market?
Stock market, absolutely.
So the message is very clear: invest for long term, and the management is a very important part. Management is like a driver of it's like a captain of your flight.
Yeah.
Okay, if he will do any mistakes, you will go down. One of my quote that what you look into a management, that he should be actually honest, hungry and smart.
Absolutely. So, and in the past, I remember you telling us about getting into a plane and enjoying the ride after that, if I got that right, enjoying the flight. Once you are already sitting in there, then there's nothing much you can do.
Yeah, nothing much you can do. If you're going from here to London, what else can you do after 1 hour of flying? You are only dependent on the captain of the flight. Then you just sit back and relax and have your wine or have your tea or green tea and enjoy life. That's it.
You were telling us about mistakes. I mean, some of those investments didn't work out. You said about Ares Agro, you talked about Karnataka Bank as well. But make a mistake once, make sure you don't repeat it.
Then of course you learn, no, as we grow old, we are learning from our, as you also said, no, that you see, when we are making money, then we earn.
Yeah.
When we are losing money, then we learn.
True.
Okay, so when you're in the process of making money, that time you think whatever you are doing it right.
Correct.
So you don't learn from your winning things and all, right? So this is what I am also learning. So there is one quote of mine that buy like a bull, sit like a bear, and watch like an eagle. So this is what the only work I have left with, watching all my companies and how they are performing and keep on reshuffling them. Okay, so although the horizon is to hold them for 10 years or 15 years, that does not mean that I cannot sell my shares tomorrow. If I like something which is not going as per my mind and I am actually stressed, then I will cut off that position.
Absolutely.
I do not have any shame in that.
Oh, that's, on that note, Mr. Kedia, thanks so much for coming down to our studio. It's been a pleasure talking to you.